Our topic tonight is the unworthy and the worthy, and this is from the book of Revelation, chapter 5. I would like to remind you that number 7 is a feature of God. Everything God touches has a seal of 7. That's important. And also we found that even though the 7 churches are imperfect, the Lord's throne is established above all. This is what we found so far. And today we will talk about some key ideas of Revelation chapter 5. So here we have the scroll, and first of all, we have a group of not only people, but also living creatures and angels who are unworthy, the unworthy. So let's read the text, and I will be reading Revelation chapter 5. And I saw in the right hand of the one seated upon the throne a scroll written on both the front and the back, sealed with 7 seals. Immediately we notice 2 details. Number 1, there is a mysterious scroll in the right hand of God. And number 2, the scroll has writings on both sides. What is that? The English word Bible, by the way, is derived from the Greek term biblion, translated here as scroll. So here we see the one who is seated upon the throne, and he has a biblion in his hand. This is an allusion to the book of Ezekiel. Let's look at the text of Ezekiel. This is in chapter 2, verses 9 and 10. I looked, and behold, a hand was stretched out to me, holding written scroll. He spread it out before me. It was written on front and back. Written on it were lamentations, dirges, and war. Ezekiel predicted the future. Exactly as in the book of Revelation, the scroll is in someone's hand, and the writings are found on the front and on the back. So the scroll is similar, and as you can see, the future is not that bright. There is nothing encouraging there. We see lamentations, dirges, and war. When the king at the same time of Israel would be installed, he also would receive a scroll, or a biblion in Greek. He would get a scroll of the covenant, or likely the book of Deuteronomy. The covenant scroll historically is a symbol of inauguration. In Revelation chapter 5, we see this symbol. So likely those 2 symbols are combined in the book of Revelation. Number 1, like in the book of Ezekiel, the prophet predicted the future, and he predicted God's judgment. And number 2, we also see that the scroll is the scroll of the covenant, and it is given right at the moment of the inauguration of the Messiah. Revelation chapter 5, verse 2, I also saw a mighty angel proclaiming with a loud voice, who is worthy to open the scroll and to break its seals. Now we have the central question: who is worthy? Who is worthy to be the king? Who is this one? This is one of the most dramatic moments in the history. When we began our Revelation series, I highlighted the fact that the book of Bereshit, or Genesis, begins with the fall of humanity, whereas the book of Revelation ends with God's victory. The fall of humanity questioned the reign of God because the serpent attempted to usurp God's power and to claim his kingship, at least over the earth. Thus, God's power supposedly stopped being absolute. Now we have this question: who is worthy? Who will be king? Who will reign? And verse 3 tells us, no one in heaven or on the earth or under the earth was able to open the scroll or to look into it. Oideis in Greek. This means not one, no one, none, nothing. This word is absolutely categorical and strict. We have nothingness and emptiness. It would be expected to find no one under the earth. Yes, it would be expected to find no one on the earth. Yes, but sadly, there is no one even in heavens. No one who is worthy. The angels are unworthy. The 24 elders are unworthy. The 4 living creatures are unworthy. And what is terrifying, the one who is sitting on the throne is absolutely silent. This shocks John. Verse 4 tells us, I began to weep loudly because no one was found worthy to open the scroll or to look into it. To weep loudly. Now John has only one option: to weep, and to do it loudly. Do we have someone who is worthy? Yes, we do. The worthy one is described here. Verse 5. Then one of the elders tells me, stop weeping. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, the Root of David, has triumphed. He is worthy to open the scroll and its 7 seals. Suddenly, the solution of the problem is announced. There is the Lion, the symbol of a ruler, the Root of David, one more royal title, and the one who triumphed. One more title. All 3 features highlight the fact that the one who is about to be revealed is the worthy one. The book of Revelation contains this paradox. Very often, the prophet hears one thing, whereas he sees another thing. In this case, the prophet hears about the Lion. Behold, the Lion of the tribe of Judah, this is what we read, about the Root of David and about the one who overcomes. What does the prophet see? Okay, we have our next verse. And in the midst of the throne and the 4 living creatures, and in the midst of the elders, I saw a lamb standing as having been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of God sent out into all the earth. Instead of the lion, John just heard about the lion. Instead of the lion, the prophet sees the lamb. In this vision, he sees someone who is unique. He heard about the lion and saw the lamb. They heard about lion. However, in order to overcome, like the lion, the Messiah had to become the Lamb of God. John heard about the lion, but saw the Lamb of God. We see 7 horns, 7 eyes, and 7 spirits. The Lamb is absolutely perfect and absolutely worthy. He came and took the scroll from the right hand of the one seated on the throne, and the Lamb is in the midst of everything. And as soon as the Lamb takes the scroll, the questions about God's absolute power are eliminated. God's absolute power is restored, and it is restored not by the power of the lion, but by the meekness of the Lamb. And then we see the cosmic praise in the chapter. We read in verses 11 and 12, Then I looked, and I heard the voice of many angels around the throne, and the living creatures, and the elders. Their number was myriads of myriads, and thousands of thousands. They were chanting with a loud voice, Worthy is the Lamb who was slain. Worthy, this is the worthy one. This chanting is just amazing, and let us see. Worthy of what? Let's read. Alright? To receive power, and riches, and wisdom, and might, and honor, and glory, and blessing. In other words, to receive the ultimate power over creation. And now let us count the items. To receive power, 1, and riches, 2, and wisdom, 3, and might, 4, and honor, 5, and glory, 6, and blessing, 7. As we can see, the perfect Messiah who has 7 horns, 7 eyes, and 7 spirits overcomes perfectly and receives 7 attributes of the royal power. All human imperfectness is perfectly compensated thanks to the Lamb. And here is our practice. We noticed that humans are imperfect. Even 7 congregations sometimes perform well and sometimes they fail. Laodicea is the 7th congregation and at the same time the worst congregation. If we take Laodicea as a period of church history, we are in trouble. Revelation chapter 5 demonstrates us how human imperfectness is compensated by the perfect Messiah and King, who has 7 attributes of his perfect nature, and now in chapter 5 he receives 7 attributes of his divine power as a result of his victory. If we want to be perfect, we should be his disciples and should follow him every day, and we will receive his perfectness from his hand.